Empire State to the Golden Gate. Now, from the world of ATV cross and racing, he is second.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the E-Racing Quad Radio Show. I'm Rodney Tomlin. Tonight, of course, my guest is going to be this guy right over here, Mr. Nick Janusa out of Wald Township, New Jersey. I'm going to try to scoot back here just a little bit. And, of course, we are at Redbud Track and Trail, of course, for this Quad Radio Show. What is it, round 5, round 6? For
this, I believe, is, well, we got one round that was taken away from the dirt. That was supposed to be with the dirt bikes. I believe this is round 6 for us this year.
I think so, too. So about round 5 for the amateur portion of things. We got some pretty cool things going on. I should have one, maybe 2 more guests coming up here that kind of blast from the past. You might remember those guys. I know Nick DeNoble and also Derek Swartfager in the house here this week. He's going to be racing the Junior 25 Plus class, and I do want to take this opportunity to say special thanks to a few great folks that have helped make things possible here in the 2020 season. And of course, I'm talking about great folks like our friends at E-Racing, those guys over there. I know Alan Myers is a part of that, and Alan's a part of the AMA Pro ATV team. He's kind of the mentor for some of those little kids over there, Styles West, and those kids, and I had a chance to talk to Styles, also Noah Arnold and his little brother, and there's just like a whole slew of guys on that team, but they're out in full support of the youth riders. They actually, I think, have some parts and accessories that fit some of those smaller bikes, maybe even do a little bit of service work. If you want to stop over and ask them and find out about it while you're trackside. Otherwise, they're just big proponents and supporters of the Quad Radio show, and we appreciate that. Also want to take this opportunity to say a special thanks to our good friends at Teely Energy Racing, big GNCC supporter, and also Phoenix Racing and the Phoenix Racing Honda team. Want to say thanks to those guys. They are a monumental supporter. I'll tell you this right now. I know they help out a lot of people behind the scenes. Probably, I don't know about you, but I know
Phoenix?
Yeah.
Not me personally, but I know they're involved with
a lot of folks
Yep.
in a lot of different areas, and they are monumental and critical in making sure that this particular program is on the air. So I want to say thanks to David Eller and all those folks over there for making that possible. Also, welcoming as a presenting sponsor our good friends at the Decker Training Facility. We talked last week with Zach Decker, and know that he's, tough break for him. Yeah, literally 2 tough breaks this year. He got a good break because he broke his arm leading into the season, but then the COVID-19 and the quarantine hit, and that gave him like an extra 8-10 weeks to get healed up. He was healed up. He comes back, and he's blasting it, man. I mean, he's having some really good racing, and then just a handful of days before the July 4th round down at Pleasure Valley Raceway with Jeff Sarnick. He had a practice crash where he had a heel. Actually, a hub, I think, broke. Yep. And when the hub broke, it...
Zach's a very talented kid, very fast, got a lot of good people behind him. And he had a tough break in the beginning of the season. Got a little bit lucky with the virus, kind of on his side, giving him some time to heal. And unfortunately, from what you just said, the hub breaking is kind of out of his control. So when something like that happens, it's 50-50 whether you're going to get injured or not. And he got the bad end of the stick, and as far as I know, I think he re-injured what was already the injury initially. So
That's what I'm thinking also. And I do apologize for the lack of production here tonight.
Hey.
We're craziest things always happen for me, man. I mean, honestly, I just don't think it's in the cards anymore that I do this stuff. But I keep fighting it, man. I keep fighting it.
Stand up 10 times.
Yeah, I know. My good computer, the one that has all my stuff on it, it decided that, I went to a new update, and it decided that the program wasn't up to date to work with my computer. So basically, says, hey, you'll have to contact your developer. Luckily, I had an old program on an older computer. Hopefully, it's working. I threw in what I could, but certainly, I want to say thanks to everyone that has tuned in and all of our fine sponsors. I'll run through those real quick for you. DP Brakes, also a great brought to you sponsor. Nice level. They bring in a lot with that. JSR Motor Designs, I want to say thanks to those folks over there. Ladon Racing, also want to say thanks to All Task Construction, XS Motorsports from the GNCC side of things. WFR, that's Walker Fowler Racing. Also Dalton Turpin Racing, still a big part of things, even though he's not racing ATV motocross. Ford Brothers Racing, helping bring to you the live audio stream that'll be on Mixler on QuadRadio.com tomorrow and on Sunday, so you guys can tune in for that. SSI Decals, I want to say thanks to them. Also, 88 Live to Ride, XE Part Solution, and also, did I say SSI Decals? I may have.
Did I say it again?
Yeah, why not? Oh, and 940 Motorsports, also the Dylan Tremelin team, the Tremelin family team. They support a lot of folks in the racing industry. So thanks to those guys. And with all that aside, Nick Janusa joining us here now. And Nick out of New Jersey, right?
Of course.
Yeah, and by the way, we are in social distancing practicing. Yeah, we don't want to go back into quarantine is what it is. And honestly, folks, I mean, that's one of the things that the state of Michigan, if you're watching the news, they're really cracking down on things, and I'm sure rightfully so. I mean, I don't pay complete attention to the numbers. Everybody has their opinion. There's a lot of argument and everything going on out there.
Yeah, I mean, respectfully, we have to follow these guidelines. That way we can continue to do which something like this has not really been going on in the rest of the country right now. So I feel lucky enough to still be racing right now, and I keep hearing it from everyone how lucky we are to be here. And if it comes down to wearing a mask, which I'm not personally a fan of, if it gets us in here, whatever.
That's just it. And, I mean, that was part of, and that's what I try to reiterate in my announcing responsibilities at the racetrack. And the one thing is that, some folks went to worked hard to create this protocol system that would allow us this opportunity to be out here. And the thing about it is, they presented it. It went through a lot of folks' hands in some upper-level federal government stuff, and it took a lot to get it through to what it was and for them to allow us to do it. And then not only did we have to go through that, we had to go through each local and state authority to be able to go to each venue that we go to. Remarkably, the state of Michigan, even under the strict guidelines that they are under right now, still are allowing campgrounds and amateur competitions to be able to continue, and that's kind of like what we got here, campground, amateur competition, and so we're able to do this out in the open air. So as long as folks abide by the social distancing protocol, staying 6 feet apart when you can't, have a mask on, any areas that our folks are together, like on the starting line, in staging, in signal areas and things like that, they have to have masks on, one rider, one mechanic, and things of that nature. And again, it's encouraged all over, if you're going to be around, also no more than 10 people in a group at a time. So there's a lot of little things. Hopefully this will help slow this thing down. And by the time the election rolls around, maybe we'll be back to normal.
Hopefully back. I agree. Yeah.
I don't want to get too political on this because I'm sure there's a lot of folks that weigh on both sides of the situation on this one. And I respect your opinion. Please respect my opinion. I don't come out and say it, but I think it's pretty obvious about the way that I feel about it. So I respect you by not saying anything about it, and respecting you by doing this and the things that's necessary for us to keep coming to the races.
It's just because two people have a disagreement on whether political or whatever does not mean you shouldn't continue to. You have a disagreement on one thing.
That's it.
And continue to go forward with other things because they could be a really good person and vice versa.
Yeah, and again, not to get political, that's another big thing that's going on right now. Division in this country, whether it's staged or whether it's initiated, I guess is the word that I'm talking about. whether it's been an initiated controversy that is going on across these United States that is trying to divide our country, or whether it just happens to be because of the fact of the quarantine has driven everyone over the edge and given them, I don't know, this is crazy. Again, I don't want to get too political. I have my personal opinions on that. But Nick, the great thing about it is, after going through all that, we're here racing.
We're here racing
at Redbud, and I gotta say, I was looking at point standings there a little bit ago, and
here we go with that.
Well, you know, this is really cool, and it's not so much. It's hard for you, I realize, because you're not where you want to be. This is not the way things are tracking is the way that you expected them to, because, I mean, if you look at the history books, and it looks like you're tracking to be that solid top 5 guy every race in and out, no matter what. But, you know, you're not the only victim of that. I mean, we've seen Chad and we've seen Joel be a victim of that, you know, with a couple of young riders getting up there and mixing things up. That has changed things up, I think, up in the front of that. And it goes all the way through the class. We've got so much fast talent out there today. I mean, that are people that are coming into the class that have been training on the level that you've been training on since they were in the youth classes, basically. And they're coming in, and you know as well as I do, if you don't get the start, man, it's going to be hard to pass up through the pack. And
trust me, if anyone knows that, it's me. My issue this year, it's you know, coming from Mr. Consistent. I've been for the last 5 years in pro class, like top 5, fourth 1 year. My issue this year is not the new riders. I don't, you know, there's no shortage of talent in that class. I DNF'd 2 races this year, and I haven't DNF'd. I DNF'd 1 last year, but I DNF'd 2 races in the first 4 rounds.
Wow.
Which I've never had happen to me. So 2 of my motos this year, I scored last place in points, and that's truly why I'm buried right now. You look at all the other rounds, I'm in the top 5.
Right. Yep. I mean,
you know,
right.
I just little things. You know, I broke a chain in Daytona. You know, it's a 1 moto format, but I got last. I scored very minimum points, if any. You know, and a couple races ago, my bike overheated at Illinois. I was in track to a 4th place overall, or 4th or 5th overall there. I don't remember. And got 5th the first moto, was in 4th or 5th the second moto. A lap and a half to go. No one behind me, just cruise control. And the bike locked out. And it was like I was coming back from Daytona, you know, the first race of the season, I DNF'd and playing catch-up all year, catch-up. And then to have it happen again, it's like, man. And that, you know, and again, I'm not saying it's easy with, you know, there's new fast people in it, but I'd love to see where I would be right now in points with 2 motos that I completely missed out on.
Right.
And I think that's what some people don't see or really think about or realize what happens, because after the weekend, everyone kind of forgets.
Right, exactly. And I'm probably one of those. I'm victim of being one of those as well.
Unfortunately, it set me back, but, you know, I got to still come to the races. I have great sponsors and people behind me. I got to show effort and continue to do what I love, because regardless, you know, this year I'm giving it all I got. It may not end up the way I want with 2 motos taken from me so far like that, but there's still a lot to learn. You know, there's a lot to learn.
Absolutely.
Every weekend.
And that's the beauty of it. How old are you now?
25.
25. Okay, you got to look and take into consideration. It's about now when you really should start to.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you look back at the history of it, and you look at most champions today, now, 20 years, 30 years ago, it was a whole different story. It was 16 to 21, and after 21, you were washed up. Nowadays, with the science of the bikes and technology moving so far ahead and training and things like that, people are able to perform at higher levels at a longer time in their careers.
Look at Chad. Won the past 2 rounds. He's 10 years older than me. He's 35.
Exactly. And, you know, and I don't think that Chad really started coming into his own until after 25 either, when you look at the big picture.
I read a lot of stuff over the years for peak athlete performance in any sports right around early 30s, which is believable. And I tend to feel better and stronger every year. You know, I'm a small guy in general, but I'm starting to feel like just stronger and better endurance a little bit every year as I get older, honestly. So it makes me feel pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good to know. And that's good to know that you're looking at it. I mean, that's not what you're relying on, because you know you've got to build that to be there.
That doesn't just, hey, let's wait till I'm 30 and I'll feel good. That's constant, you know, 6 day a week working on yourself.
Exactly.
If not every day.
Exactly. And what does that entail for you?
A lot of discipline, which people that kind of seem to forget, even with themselves, of how much really goes into it. I mean, any pro racer that's a top racer can agree and have their side of it, of how much really goes into the behind the scenes stuff. It's not just showing up to the races and your bikes are going to be there and you just got to ride a couple times during the week and you do well in the race, you make a couple bucks and you go to the next weekend. I could give you a whole rundown in between races where this is my 9 to 5 and people well, what do you do during the day? What do you do during the weeks? I'd love to have someone follow me around because anybody and my friends and family can preach for it how busy I stay and active with constant every single day, even on the weekends. It doesn't stop.
Right.
And that's personally how I am. I like to stay busy. I like to stay active with everything that involves racing because it all comes back full circle. It's what you put into it. But it starts with the discipline.
It does. You're absolutely right, and I think that we've seen that happen time and time again, not only in this sport but in other sports across the history. That's why I'm not too worried about it for you, man. I mean, I know that you get a little wound up about it. I'm like, well, man, he's still kind of young. It'll come. If it's going to come, it'll come later. And it's just whether or not you can weather the storm. I mean, that's a lot of years. I mean, here you are, 24 years old. 25 years old. And that's 5 years down the road before you hit your 30s, if that's when you will technically be at your peak performance. But, what you're striving for is to hit that peak before that.
Yeah, I see myself racing for, I'm going to give you a big range of another 5 to 10 years. I could see myself going to 30 and being like, that's it, or I could see myself going to 35.
Right.
I don't think I would want to race past that. I'm still going to be active in it, but, going back to wanting to be better, I feel, and I've seen, I look at the whole picture of who beats me right now in the sport and kind of what do they have on me, and it's not necessarily money because the saying money can't buy talent, but I feel a lot of the people have a lot more ride time than me because they have a track or have better access to go riding and training.
Wait a minute. I see this every year. You got a track.
Yeah, I got a nice pit bike track. They're two different things. I think that's what people miss on the if I jump a little bit here to the pit bike side, why I'm so dominant in one of those, because I'm the only one that really has something that level.
Yeah.
But you take something that simple and you relay it back to what we do on a competitive side of ATV motocross professionally. It's really what I lack. And coming from New Jersey, it's absolutely not gotten any easier. I don't know if you've seen any of my social media stories in the last couple of weeks of us doing this big fence. If you've
I haven't
talking
seen
about
it.
posting a lot of stuff. Well,
No.
myself and a few lenders have gotten involved on a piece of property in New Jersey that's right under 60 acres that we plan on doing a track.
Now this is something that
No,
I was kind of given a little. I think a little birdie told me a little something about this.
It's a huge upping in my game and the big things outside of racing, something to eventually fall back onto, and in the best part, it's within something I love. So we're building currently and it's happening very quick.
That's usually pretty
a private MX and ATV training facility. It's not public, maybe in a few years, but like anything, you don't want to blow it up out of proportion. When I pull in the redwood, I look at this place. Before even speaking to the owner, I bet you they'll say that one thing is this didn't happen overnight. This is a hell of a facility that's very impressive, and I have nothing but respect for this place.
And I think you said it best whenever you came up to the top of the tower. You looked around whenever you looked out the tower up here, and you said, wow. You said, it never ceases to amaze me. I love the improvements that they do here every year.
And it's a slow build-up. It takes years to get to that. But back to the track, it's happening soon. We have a couple of track guys coming in very soon, within the next few weeks. And I'm going to have somewhere to train that eventually, within the next year or so, I'm going to be living there, moving out of the parents on that property. So
you're growing up, huh?
Living. Oh, yeah. I mean, been trying to set myself up for it for a long time. And, it's about 30 minutes away from where I live now currently, but it's a really big something I've been keeping pretty low, but a few people know about it. I mean, it's not a big deal to talk about in this, but I'm going to be having a track. It's happening in between this race and next race.
Really?
So it'd be good for me the couple races end of the year here, but especially going into the next season.
Yeah.
And then normally I feel like my issue is I'm strong in the off season. I ride a lot when I stay down south. When it's time to come back home, I got a life. I got other stuff I got to be back home for too.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's whatever kind of work. I can't be on the road, 12 months.
Right.
I personally like to get back and get involved in other stuff, but now I get to come back and have somewhere to go, which I really feel like is truly what I lacked. Was somewhere in a full-scale national track that I can train at, and to even better call it mine.
Yeah.
That I'm going to let other people come as a private thing, and some kind of membership in the first year or so that other people will be able to train at it with me.
Well, tell me about the pit bike track. I mean, I know not necessarily the pit bike track, but tell me about how. We're going to talk about this weekend's racing, but since we've talked about the pit bike track and everything, this pit bike track thing, the Turkey Bowl,
Turkey Derby,
the Turkey Derby has turned into something that has become pretty monumental, man. I mean,
the Turkey Derby itself is kind of where it really all started. You build somewhere really cool, you have a name behind the place, and people really want to come. And it's been kind of joked about for years, Not really joked about, talked about for years.
Right.
What would this be on a bigger scale? How many people can you get to come on a bigger scale? And right now, I think the Turkey Derby is going to be one more year at its current location, which is the parents' house.
Yeah.
And then we're bringing it over to the new facility, which I'm actually, at the same time we build the big bike track over there, and the same project, we're doing the pit bike track, which I have drawn out, so it's going to be just as cool, if not cooler. It's a really, really impressive piece of property when you see it, and I plan to double or triple the size of the event in 2 years, which I think last year we had about 250 people come. And mind you, this is a backyard event.
Right.
This is not this is in a very residential area. I think we had about 60 racers.
I think we need to have
and a very big waiting list of people. And unfortunately, I have to turn people down because we just don't have the parking. We live in under 6 acre property, and that's on there. So we make it. I know the size it can be, and we were maxed out last year. But the new place, I know we can double or triple the size of the event and invite more people and have it something really huge. And I'd honestly like to continue for a very long time because it's something really cool. Maybe do 2 races a year or a spring something. But right now, it's going to stay the November.
I say we do. I say you do. Eventually, soon get into a pay-per-view basis, and the reason I say that is because this is not a made-for-money event. This is just a fun-for-all event where all your buddies just come over and ride. So if it's going to stream, it's going to cost to do something like that, get people to do things like that. So maybe a pay-per-view event.
It's not out of the question. I mean, at the end of the day, you want everyone to have fun, but there is a cost to running that event. I think we had a mission last year, but, we supplied food. We gave a T-shirt to every single racer, whether it's, you name it. There was a lot of little cost. I had to rent a machine last year to groom the track, which now I have one, but I had to rent one, and the porta-johns, the DJ, everything. You name it. It's expensive, so it's not out of the question. If there's a little bit of, money to be made, that's awesome, but it's about it continuing and wanting to be a much bigger event than what it is. And I really think that name is growing and really worth something right now, especially the next few years.
Right. I agree.
Of the Janusa Racing.
Yeah, we've seen it. We've witnessed it. We've watched it grow. It's pretty exciting to say the least. It's getting a little late now. I'm hoping to be able to still talk. I hope he's still out there. He's still out there. All right, Nick's out there. We'll get Nick Noble out in here in just a couple moments.
I'll send him up.
I just wanted to take this time to talk about this weekend. Like you said, you've had the rough patches this weekend, but here we are. You're on the event T-shirt.
Hey, I'm on the event T-shirt.
Yeah.
This is the race last year I had my first podium at. So I like to come into the weekend with that, confidence level, and this is a track I truly like. They do a phenomenal job here. It's rough. I ride a lot of sand back home. It's wide. Starts are key, but I've been working on that a lot ever since I got that gate recently, and high hopes for tomorrow. We have good weather, which is always a plus. hit or miss sometimes.
No doubt. It's a little
I got a
warm.
lot on my side. The rest is up to me.
There you go. There you go. So.
And I like that. I like that for sure.
And this is also the place I just looked out and remembered. This is also the place where you had one of the scariest crashes
Sure
of your
is.
career.
It's crazy. It's the worst crash or scariest of my career, and also the first podium about 6 years later. So I'd like to do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, I just remember, and man, I don't know what happened on the face of that jump.
It was Nick Moser and I. We got into each other kind of right around. I mean, we're looking at it from here. Other people can't tell. Right about where that hay bale is, we kind of connected, and I got swirly going up the lip and hit my head going up it.
Yeah, so.
And I was all right.
And everybody else was all right then, too. But, boy, that was a scary moment.
Oh, yeah.
And certainly put things into perspective for you, I'm sure, as far as racing and knowing just how quickly things can happen. Huh?
That video still plays to this day all over people. I see it all the time.
We're going to have to pull it up sometime. But, Nick, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. Nick Danusa, any parting shots that you might want to bring in with us and let folks know about or anything like that? Want to say hey to anybody or anything crazy like that?
I just want to say, I guess, for the racers this weekend, everybody good luck. And again, this is not ideal to be up here with masks on, but be thankful for what we have. It kind of sounds cheesy to say it, but we're still racing at the end of the day, where a lot of people got jobs cut or this or that, or things changed in their family. So, be thankful and happy that we're here and we're still doing what we love. And nothing more or less than that I want to say right now. So.
That says a lot right there, to say the truth. And again, just thanks for being on board with us. We're not going to be able to take that commercial break. I was hoping that, but all
I'll send him up here.
There you go. Just send Nick Noble up here. Hey, thank you very much. We're not supposed to do that, by the way.
That's all right. Blame it on me.
All right, I will. And while Nick the Noble makes his way in, again, just want to say thanks to E-Racing, and the E-Racing QuadRadio show is brought to you by crazy things are going on and stuff like that. But nonetheless, we got Nick the Noble making his way in. Nick is a former ATV motocross pro racer, and of course, I think somewhere around 2012 or so might have been the last time that we had a chance to meet and greet with him. So we're going to take this opportunity to do so here tonight on Quad Radio as he makes his way in. Oh, that's not him. So we got somebody else coming in. They'll send him in, so stand by for that. I want to make a quick change here, so you folks can see that I'm doing editing on the run here and on the fly. Broken equipment, again, apologize, not necessarily broken, but just updating equipment, and manufacturers not following protocol, I guess. And, well, regardless, it doesn't matter. We're here, we're on live, and that's the important thing. Thanks to great sponsors like, as we said, E-Racing. I want to say thanks to Phoenix Racing Honda as well. And, of course, a big special shout out to our good friends at DP Brakes. I always want to know what's stopping you. We just want to say thanks to Larry Mills and all those folks over there for doing great things with us. Also, a big special thanks to our good friends there at Decker Training Facility. They've really got some big things coming up. Go back and watch the Zach Decker episode, and you're going to be able to find a lot of cool things about that and what he's got going on in the coming future as far as the training facility is concerned. You'll also get a chance to keep up to date with what just took place with him. Also, LaDon Racing, Jeremy LaDon, big supporter of Quad Radio and also a big supporter of ATV racing in the GNCC side of things. You got your mask, man?
We gotta grab them?
You got to grab a mask, man. Did tell you that?
No.
Derek's up here. Derek Smartfigure making his way in. So yeah, unfortunately, if they're gonna run. And all right, so tell you what, folks, we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna stop this stream and try a couple of quick things here, and then we'll be right back with you with more from Redbud and this wonderful e-racing quad radio show. Stick around. We'll be back with more on both Facebook and on YouTube Live.